You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you?
Guys, welcome to my little game Alien Revenge. It's just a test demo of Pathfinding that I'm just playing with, just over about a week's work. So I've just made a little game out of it anyway, and it has score. So you start off Nostromo, where you've activated the destruct sequence. And oh, there's the alien. I'll just show you the start. It's a random start of the alien, the player, and also Jonesy the cat. Yeah, so that's normally the start there from the movie. Anyway, let's try and get out of here. The alien will be coming up here soon. There he is. There she goes. Bit of sound effects. I've got fall damage as well, so that's a nice thing. You can jump over things, but you might take damage. Here comes the alien. You can see it's pathing not too bad. Took a bit of work to get it all right, but it's okay. It's using the default set AI commands that CopperCube has. Oh, there he is. Just checking for Jonesy the cat. I've got automatic doors happening as well. Walking and running. There's Jonesy the cat. There it is.
Jonesy, come here, you stupid cat.
Now watch the alien will be coming soon. Okay, so I'll just end that there. I'll show you the game a bit more. Now, if you haven't played the game, I suggest you download and play it as much as you like. It's got 5 levels. It's got fall damage, jumping, you can run and walk. The alien will get harder and faster over time. It'll be a bit smarter over time as well. And it's a countdown for 3 minutes with health and a timer. Okay, so yeah, so if you haven't done that, do that first and then come back here. Alright, so I'm going to just show you very quickly how I did the pathfinding. There's a couple of ways I've noticed how to do it. Let's just put that up to 40. That's a bit better, isn't it? Now I've got a folder. It's node pathing that I've done. This is how I've done it. I didn't follow anyone else's method, but I've noticed someone else had the same idea anyway. Okay, so I've just turned the paths on. Those green little boxes is all the paths I've put in the game. There's not that many. Now the best way I've found. Now this how I've done at the moment is using the default this method I'm using is using the default CopperCube way, but I don't know if it's actually the best way, but it can be used. It does work. So using the CCB AI command, move to, and also you can use attack as well. They're the two main things you can use. So you can there's attack here. CCB AI command alien. That's move to, and the other one is attack. Actually, using my own animation. I'm controlling the animation of the alien myself rather than use the AI. So I'm really only using that to move CCB AI command, which is a API of CopperCube, to move it around between paths that I've set up in my level. And what I've noticed with this method, it's good and it works, but there is some limitations in that when you send the player or the alien to a particular path, it won't actually reach that path. It's the bounding box of the enemy. Once it touches that position, it then will go to the next path, or it'll stop until it's sent to the next path. So it actually will never actually get to that path. It's only the outside edge or the corner of the alien will touch on it, and that's it. So in my game, this game here, the alien has a massive bounding box. It really is. It's huge. So I've had to space out the these pathing nodes way further than what you would expect. It was actually quite difficult to try and gauge it. I've seen just after I've finished all this, I've seen another video from Just In Case who's got another method to manually do the whole thing, send the alien to each pathing node, and it seems to go directly over each one that way. That might be actually a better way, perhaps. I'm not sure. Haven't tried it, but anyway. That way you can send the alien to... you can path the alien a bit more accurately that way, I think. But this is how I've got it. And probably the key thing of the whole game is a little bit of code that I've got. It only runs every 300 milliseconds. It's not that often, but it does a lot of checks. It's checking the distance between next path, between the player, the last amount of movement the alien has moved in itself to see if it's stuck somewhere. It goes through a whole stack of different if-then-else statements. Yeah, so it's quite a lot of. So its first thing is priority. Is it within attack distance? Can we attack the player? Then it will go for that. Actually, whenever you're editing or viewing code, I find it's way better to do it something like Notepad, or if you're online, just use a Spremo or something like that. It highlights the code a lot better. So I've also set up my own formatting for CopperCube syntax in Notepad++. Just the colouring of it seems to work pretty good. So there's so it's within attack. It'll attack first. If it's not in with attack distance, then it'll go to the next else statement. Else if it's within close contact, so it can then follow the player. Alien move. This just determines if the alien is moving and not stuck anywhere. If it ever gets stuck, it just simply goes to the next one, and then so forth and so forth. So that one is mode follow. If it is mode following and it gets stuck, it'll then try a few different things to maneuver to the next path, or then if the previous path, and it'll keep trying that to try and get out of its little stuck area if it does get stuck, and most of the time it actually does work pretty good. So I'll show you because I've got the light on, I've highlighted the nodes. You'll see they're all green. It'll turn red, which highlights the closest node to the player, and it will actually turn blue, a node where it tells you the alien is next.
Still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you?
The next node that it's going to go to. There's red there. There's me. There's where's the alien? There. Oh, it's down there. Okay. Oh, he's waiting there for me. Alright, anyway. We'll sort that out. So you can see they're all green, and this just red, oh, there it's blue. See, it's coming up now. It goes from blue to blue. See? Yeah. Uh-oh. Okay, so there's... goes red. Oh, there he is. Oh, look at him. Yeah, he's coming. He's coming. So you can see it goes blue, and when he gets stuck, you'll see what happens. Okay. See that? It goes backwards and forwards. So what happens, it does a check to see is the alien moving every time it runs every 300 milliseconds, and if it's not moving with more than a certain distance, it will change. Oh, so obviously it's gone for the attack there, or sorry, it's gone for the move towards the player within a certain distance. But by default, notice how it's just ignored me there. That's because the closest node to me is just up there where it's red. So yeah, it's switching between moving to the player and going to the closest node right now. Now if I move over here, make one of these red, it will then path backwards towards the player. Over here, dude. He's a little bit stuck on that part there, but it's not too bad. Alright, okay. See, if it gets stuck, and at any place, it'll switch between the next path, and then if the next path is still no good, it'll go to the previous path. And it'll keep doing that until it gets out of its little stuck position, until it either can attack the player or follow the player. If it can't do either, it'll sometimes stand there and have a look around. Okay, so that's basically what it's doing. It's not perfect, but it is a nice start. Now there are some shortcuts the alien will take to get to you sometimes. Like this one, you watch. Yeah, it'll take a shortcut. If you're ahead of the player, the enemy, the alien, if you're ahead of the alien a certain amount of nodes, it will then take shortcuts to catch up with you. So I'll show you that just quickly. Okay, so I've got an override. So basically first looks, can I attack the player? No. Can I follow the player within certain distance? If not, or if I'm stuck, following and stuck, try and restart the pathing to get to the player. If you can't move, if you're still trying to restart the pathing and you can't move, then see that alien move? Alien move is the amount of movement. If that's less than a certain amount, then it will try and look at the previous path. And if it tries the previous path and still can't move, it'll go to the next path again. So it sort of will switch between the three, and that usually takes it out of the stuck area. So it goes through different modes. So it's like a what do they call it? Static state machine or something like that. Anyway, it's goes through different modes. So this way, it's it'll only run certain code if it's doing a certain thing. So if it goes through all that, it's not stuck, it's not following the player, can't attack, and it's just pathing to get to the player, which is most of the time. If the distance, yep, it'll just go through a sequence of checking find the next path between the alien and the player and head towards that. But it's got an override here based on difficulty as well. Once it hits a certain path ID, you got path next ID, path end ID. That's the last position. That's the pink one. That's the closest node to the actual player for the alien wants to go to. If it's more than a certain number of nodes ahead, it will then do a shortcut. I've created a number of shortcuts in the game, and it goes through a whole lot of other stuff as well. It's not too bad, the code. It needs a little bit of work, but I mean it does actually work 95% of the time. Not too bad. So I'll just show you again. It almost never gets stuck. It's very rare for the alien to get stuck.
You still don't understand what you're dealing with, do you?
The option to override automatic detonation expires T-6.
Oh, there he is. And notice I've had to put some paths in the air, up in the air like that, because if it's too close to the ones down here, it can, and actually the alien can think that you're up there and not down here. So I've had to keep a certain amount of separation of distance between the nodes. You'll see it'll catch up really quick down there, pretty quick. There he is. So what? Yeah. So when you're coming towards doorways, you want to put it right in the middle of the doorway like that. And because that's right in the far corner, that's the extremity of the alien bounding box. It goes to about here and touches it, and then goes this way. So I've had to put it really far away from a lot of things. Notice how that's the pink one up there? It thinks I'm over there now because that's the closest one. Yeah. But not really. What about over here now? So it'll always home in on the player, wherever it is, but it'll get stuck, a little bit stuck sometimes. Hello dude, what's up? What's happening? Anyway, yeah. Oops. So I've taken a bit of damage, fall damage there. He should be following me actually. Is that him? There he is. He's a bit slow there. Okay. Okay, so I've just pressed escape. It's giving me a score even though I died. Level 0 still.
The option to override automatic detonation
sounds like the aliens up there, doesn't it? I don't know if it is. I'm not sure of the 3D sound on this. No, it's over there now. I don't think the 3D sound is all that good. I'm not really sure about CopperCube, to be honest, in that regard. If I stand here, it puts it out of whack. It thinks I'm up in the roof somewhere. So it gets a little bit stuck in the... See, those doors are really small, so it's so easy for it to not be able to go through the door. It takes a lot of careful placement of those nodes. But like I said before, it might actually be better to use, just in case's idea, to manually move the player completely yourself, not using the default CopperCube AI API. So he works it out. Most of the time the alien works it out. He might be a little bit slower that way, but he usually works it out. Here he comes. Now, with this method of multiple levels, sometimes it's picking up the level in the roof, the path node in the roof, not where you are, as the closest node, so the alien goes running off into the next level up. So you probably want to use a few more nodes. A few more nodes scattered around would probably be better, so it can't get confused between where you are versus where it should go. Here he comes. There's Jonesy the cat.
Jonesy, come here, you stupid cat.
There's the alien. So he thinks I probably should put nodes all over the place. I don't have any nodes up here, so it doesn't know. Until I get down to a node, and then the game knows where I am. And then it sends that to the alien.
29, 28, 27,
Okay.
26, 25.
You can see what the nodes are doing. See that? Next, backwards, and it keeps rotating. So usually the alien's able to work it out. Okay, it's not the code, it's the level. But you can see what's happening.
Still don't understand what you're doing, Mister.
Yeah, sorry about the yelling there, but it's a bit loud. You can see what's happening there. It's not the actual code. The code is pretty good for most things, but it's the level. I've had trouble with the alien getting stuck in the level and falling through the ground sometimes. Yeah, so this one here, I'll change that to see if you make it a really small number, it stops it from getting stuck on the ground. But if you make it too much of a bigger number, like 0.1, it tends to fall through the floor, I've noticed. Yeah, let me just try that, see if that's worse or better. Now that's only for this particular, it's very low polygon. The whole level with whole stacks of doors and everything, it's only 26,000 polygons. It's pretty good. Very low. Doesn't really need to be that low. Could have easily been 100 or 200,000. Would have been fine. But I think it's the level that's causing those problems. I'm pretty sure. Sounds like it's coming from over there. Oh, it is too. Haha. Oh, took damage there. A lot of damage. Where are we? Where are we? Okay. So aliens come down to meet us. There's the pink one. Oh, we're stuck. Player's stuck now. Alright, here we go. so I'm moving a lot slower now. I'm taking damage. Here comes the alien. See if I can go over here. There we go. That'll stuff him up. So you can see where the nodes are. This is really tricky area. Tight little small spaces with a large alien. The other node is hidden in there. It was difficult to get to path through here. Quite difficult. Got it pretty good. That's pretty good right there. Okay, so I haven't got Jonesy yet, but anyway, this is you can see what's happening. Where's the alien going? Shouldn't be far behind. Anyway, we'll just skip that. Okay, I've also got a debug mode. As you can see, when I'm making a game, I always need these debug modes to tell me to diagnose problems and fix it up. So it's telling me that the alien is pathing towards me. It's telling me the next path ID it's going to, and how much distance between the alien and the next path ID. So you can see it's you know, about 10, 15, pretty regularly. That's how far it's moved, sorry, from the last path. So, and also to the next path, how far to go. And then if it's in attack mode, it'll tell me. And also my closest door to, I believe that's the player, I think it is. So you can see it moving between nodes. It's follow, restart, try previous. Does a bit of circuit. It probably doesn't need to do circuit training like that when it's so close, but anyway, at the moment that's what it's doing. So try and ensure that it doesn't get stuck anywhere. Coming this way, I think. It seems to be stuck. I'll see how it goes. If I go away, see if it can work it out or not. No. We'll get stuck sometimes. Stuck right on the corner. So when you're putting these path nodes, you have to be really careful that it can go both directions equally. So it can go one way. It'll go one way fine, but sometimes it won't go the other way backwards as well.
Override automatic detonation expires.
Okay, we're back here. Where's the alien? Okay, it's way up top. See number 8? So that's way up top. Starts at 0, up the furthest away. Works its way down. So he's pathing to the player. And some of the corners are a little bit tight, so it tends to get just a little bit stuck, but it tries to work it out. Most of the time it will work it out, like 95% of the time. Well, 98% of the time it works it out. If it doesn't, if it ever gets stuck somewhere, you may just need to tweak the position of the nodes a little bit. You can see it's coming towards the player. See the door updates, that's the closest door. I'm pretty sure that's the closest door to the player, I think. Yeah. You just see it jump. See the next ID just jumped to like 65. It's taken a shortcut because the player's way ahead of where it needs to be. Okay, what are you doing now? It's going to go the long way. There he is there. There he goes. Slightly stuck there, but not really too bad. Yeah, so it does work quite well on the whole. You just got to manipulate the position of the nodes sometimes. Yeah, so it'll get there in the end.
21, 20 seconds, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15,
Yeah, so that's yeah.
minus 30 seconds.
On the whole, pretty well. Anyway, so the game, is, for the most part, is pretty good. There are a couple of little bugs here and there, and I think I can probably fix them up. But anyway, so just wanted to show you a quick game I made in about a week's time overall, and using a certain pathing code that makes use of the default CopperCube send alien AI the move to code for that, which it works for the most part pretty well. It changes the rotation of the alien to move and moves in the direction of the next node. There's, you know, I could use change it to use just in case's idea of just coding the whole thing into a big behavior. That's also possible. Anyway, so what I've done is I've got a separate behavior for the walking sounds for the player and for the alien, and also one separate action for the door opening for both as well. So either the player or the alien can open the door, and that whatever opens the door is responsible for closing it as well. When they get a far enough away distance, it will then close automatically. Yeah, so that's how it works. I could have just used default CopperCube proximity behaviors, but I've got like, how many, 6 doors or something, or more. I didn't want to have 2 to 4 behaviors on every single door. It didn't seem a very efficient way to code it, and it's not actually. I've recoded the whole thing myself in a lot more complex way, but it's a lot more efficient really. only once every like second it finds the closest door to the player and the alien, and then code for each of the player and the alien every like 500 milliseconds. It will check whether you're close enough to open the door that you're closest to. So it doesn't need to run that often. So I recode the whole thing, made up an array of all the doors with the status of each of those doors, open and close, all that sort of stuff, and iterated over that every twice a second to find whether the door should be open or closed or whatever the situation should be. So that's how I did that. So I just thought I'd show you that, a quick little game demo. CopperCube sort of excels in these type of small like little games like this because it has a lot of inbuilt functionality and created behaviors and actions you can use fairly quickly to do some decent stuff. If you want really better stuff, yeah, you're going to need to work. You're going to need to know how to make up your own behaviors and actions. So the player's got his own footsteps, so does the alien. The player also has damage, falling damage, so I've had to create a falling, so that's just the behavior for the player for fall damage and for walking sounds. So yeah, so firstly I need to know, is the player falling? If it's above a certain height, do I play a sound or not? If so, if that player height is more than a certain height, does the player take any damage, and then how much damage? It's all according to how much height you fall from, and so is the sound and the volume it plays and everything like that. It's all related, so it works quite well actually. Yeah, so I'm going to actually put that whole game up and all the code and every single bit of stuff that I've created for it to sell it. If anyone wants to just grab that, and they can make up their own game using all the same code if they want to. And just change all the assets. Obviously this is from the movie Alien, so you can't, it's all copyright stuff, you can't sell it. But if you wanted to put your own level in, I mean, you can use this level if you want. I've paid for this is commercial use, but the alien itself and the sounds and all the are from the movie, so you'd have to change that out. Yeah, so you can do that if you really want to. Yeah, so just it's a lot of code, really, in bits and pieces, but it's not too bad. There's every 1,000 milliseconds, there's this is checking for the enemy alien damage, if it's close enough within a certain proximity. At the time of swinging the arm, after a certain amount of time, is the player within a certain distance to show an attack damage or not. This one is the lighting. Every 40 milliseconds it changes the ambient lighting, bright and dark, and that works pretty well. I had previously used to iterate over a whole bunch of dynamic lights, point lights, but you know what, I didn't really need to. I had all these ones here changing using just a for loop, and then I had fixed lights as well. But I realised that just the actual ambient lighting works just as well, if not better, actually, in more brighter and darker areas. Turn the whole thing off and on. It works quite well. Yeah. Got any questions on how I've coded something? You can feel free to ask. I'm going to make a video soon about basic coding and JavaScript and CopperCube for those who are sort of interested. For those just learning and thinking about learning it. You do pick up a few things along the way. I think you'll find that very interesting. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I hope you like this little video. Let me know what you think and what you think of my game. Have a good play. Cheers.